Tensions were already high in Epping, but what Keir Starmer did next shocked everyone. Instead of addressing the real issue, he lashed out. Instead of listening, he insulted the very people his government failed to protect. Now, with protests growing and police cracking down, one thing's clear. Let's break it all down, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. We have released our new 0% Liberal t-shirts. You can find them at britishstand.com or go to the link in the description. Let's get back into today's video. Something extraordinary and utterly revealing just unfolded in Epping, Essex. A peaceful community now finds itself at the heart of a political firestorm after a wave of protests erupted outside a migrant hotel. And the establishment is in full damage control mode. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, instead of addressing the cause of public outrage, has taken it upon himself to condemn the public itself. His spokesman described the violence as clearly unacceptable, which, of course, no one is defending. But in doing so, Starmer and his circle have completely missed, or rather deliberately ignored, the deeper problem at play here. Let's be clear, this all started after a 38-year-old asylum seeker, Hadush Gerbazlasi Kebetu, was charged with assaulting a 14-year-old girl. This man, who had just arrived in the UK via small boat, allegedly attempted to kiss the underage girl only days after being placed in the Epping Migrant Hotel. That's not hearsay, that's not conspiracy, that's official, and he appeared in court last week. So when local residents stood outside the hotel with signs that read "Defend our girls" and "Deport foreign criminals," were they really the villains in this story? Or were they doing what any parent, any brother, any decent citizen would feel compelled to do? Stand up, speak out, and demand accountability. But what does the government do in response? They send in riot police, they issue dispersal orders, they criminalize protest, and they smear working-class Brits as mindless thugs. Over the past 2 nights, Essex police have made 6 arrests outside the hotel. Bottles and flares were reportedly thrown, and officers were injured, something no one condones. But it's critical to understand, these escalations didn't happen in a vacuum. This was a pressure cooker waiting to blow. And instead of listening to the grievances, Starmer and the establishment are now vilifying the very people they're supposed to represent. In fact, 8 police officers were injured during Thursday night's clashes. Assistant Chief Constable Stuart Hooper was quick to label protesters as mindless thugs. No attempt to differentiate between concerned families and troublemakers. No acknowledgement of why tensions reached the boiling point. Just blanket condemnation and a clear message. Dissent will not be tolerated. The Prime Minister's official spokesman doubled down, stating, "Peaceful protest is a cornerstone of our democracy, but it's clearly unacceptable to see police coming under attack." And then came the real kicker. We can never and will never tolerate criminal violence. But what about systemic negligence? What about risking our children's safety? What about inviting danger into quiet communities without consultation or consent? Those questions remain unanswered. Meanwhile, Essex police escalated the crackdown. They closed down Epping High Road, banned face coverings under a Section 60AA order, and continued arresting people late into the night. Chief Superintendent Simon Anslow even issued a chilling warning. "Our cells are ready for you, so don't be in any doubt that this is where you will be sleeping." That's not public reassurance, that's intimidation. It's worth noting that not everyone is buying the official narrative. Nigel Farage, leader of Reform UK, issued a strong statement. Yes, he admitted there were bad eggs among the protesters, some far-right thugs, as he put it, but he also pointed to Antifa as a source of escalation. According to Farage, many of the people in Epping were simply concerned parents and locals who feel abandoned by their government. Farage said, "I don't think anybody in London even understands just how close we are to civil disobedience on a vast scale in this country." And he's right. This isn't just about Epping. This isn't just about one hotel or one asylum seeker. This is about a nation reaching breaking point. Because when a 14-year-old girl is allegedly assaulted by someone who never should have been here in the first place, the response from leadership should be reflection and reform, not insults, deflection, and authoritarianism. Yet Starmer and his mouthpieces want to gaslight the country into believing this is a public disorder problem rather than a government failure. And now, as the next wave of demonstrations approaches, with Tommy Robinson reportedly calling for thousands to march on Epping this Sunday, the establishment is panicking. But they're not panicking about justice, they're panicking about optics, about losing control of the narrative, about the truth slipping through the cracks. Essex police remain on high alert, protesters remain defiant, and the rest of Britain is watching closely. Because what's happening in Epping today might be a glimpse of what's coming nationwide. In other news, Rachel Reeves could be preparing to sell billions of pounds worth of seized cryptocurrency in a bid to help fill a black hole in the government's budget. The Home Office is developing an official crypto storage system to manage sales of Bitcoin and other digital currencies confiscated from criminals. Law enforcement agencies are believed to hold at least £5 billion in seized cryptocurrency, though the exact total remains unknown. The Chancellor's potential sell-off comes as ministers face mounting pressure over public finances, with economists suggesting Reeves needs to find up to £20 billion this autumn. The Treasury is understood to be monitoring the situation closely as cryptocurrency prices continue to climb, multiplying the value of existing seizures. During a single police raid in 2018, officers recovered 61,000 Bitcoin from the proceeds of a Chinese Ponzi scheme being stored in Britain. Although the cryptocurrency was worth around £300 million when it was seized, it has now ballooned to more than £5.4 billion, according to Arkham Intelligence. The seized Bitcoin came from Jian Wen, a takeaway worker jailed last year for money laundering. Chinese victims of the investment fraud have requested the return of the digital currency. Bitcoin hit a record high of $123,000, £92,000 last week, doubling its value from a year ago. The surge has been in part attributed to Donald Trump's pro-cryptocurrency stance in the United States, with American lawmakers passing the country's first major national cryptocurrency legislation, the Genius Act, on Friday. The Home Office has sought bids for a crypto storage and realization framework worth up to £40 million, with providers earning commission on cryptocurrency sales. The centralized system would handle secure storage and disposal of frozen digital assets across police forces. However, selling cryptocurrency presents significant challenges, with complex criminal cases often taking years to resolve. With the delays in court hearings that we're getting now, you have to seize it and then maintain it for a long time. Professor Michael Levi of Cardiff University, an expert on asset seizures, told The Telegraph. Under current legislation, proceeds not returned to victims are split between law enforcement programs and central government accounts. Norman Lamont, the former Chancellor, has suggested Reeves should spend any Bitcoin proceeds right away. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage has vowed to establish a national Bitcoin reserve if elected, echoing Donald Trump's directive for US officials to create a reserve from seized cryptocurrency. Labour has rejected this approach, with Emma Reynolds, the Economic Secretary, stating that Bitcoin's volatility makes it less suitable as a reserve asset for the UK. Aidan Larkin, chief executive of seizure company Asset Reality, sees significant potential. There is oil under our feet in terms of digital assets from an illicit perspective that could have hundreds of millions of pounds coming back into the UK each year. He added, "If I'm in the Treasury, I'm thinking of this as our Norway oil moment." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.